a blue side Scion ban possibility. Speaking of blue, it's the boys in blue on the left side of your screen. First introduction to Damwon Gaming. Crashing down to earth, 4-0 starting game score. Now 2 match losses in a row. They had a pretty easy victory over Sandbox. They're sometimes less than the sum of their parts. Sometimes they're just 5 very mechanical players. These guys have been the epitome of more than the sum of their parts. The strategy has been the lovely thing to track when it comes to Sandbox Gaming. And who's to say they don't enter that Griffin Series 5-0? They should come in favorites today.
In a solo lane is there's the LeBlanc.
Oh no.
Yep, and look, this is why I had to talk about it, Pop Smithy, because it's 9.2, and his damage is less, so let's put the Galio in the support position. I can understand old man Joker's mindset. I can feel it.
But I just,
I know you are so tilted right now.
I just can't replace Shen with Galio. I can't abide by it, Atlas.
I know.
Galio had a lot of Q nerfs and some of the picks that were an afterthought in week number 1 and 2.
Yep, exactly right. And here we are, onto the rift for game number 1 of week 3, LCK 2019. Well, according to my ears,
in a meta that's defined by proactivity like this.
Yeah, there's the flash kick. Showmaker still gets tagged by the Q. The chains are going to land, and the Rise Aftershock or no is going to go down on fleek with another first blood.
Engage range is just so insane when it's Lee Sin and LeBlanc. Galio kind of has to slowly watch on and almost KS.
LeBlanc picking up that assist very early on, able to stay in that lane, pushes forward, gets a turret plate. This is exactly what Sandbox want to be able to do. As Canyon's going to jump forward, looking for on-fleek, misses the W though, as Joker looking for the flash, and the respect flash immediately.
Isn't going to happen yet. We still haven't seen our first hero's entrance come 13 minutes.
Yeah, but on-fleek's going to see a lot of damage taken here. The Q wants to come down. That hero's entrance you were talking about is going to attempt to save on-fleek, and now they're thinking about the return. It's Hoyt taking a lot of damage, but does have that ultimate running. True shot barrage over a couple of members, but to bring 5 members up towards Shelly. She is a very popular lady, and it feels like both of these junglers are going to have an opportunity to try and steal, as there's a Justice Punch, and see you later, Nuclear. That was a very weird teleport. Canyon's going to pay for it, as well as Nuggery has to umbral dash to get over that wall and back underneath his turret.
First whoopsie of patch 9.2 goes the way of Nuclear. Just gives it up for free. You have to respect the engage there, and it's just
Nuclear is going to go down yet again, and Dove, this is exactly the snowball that Sandbox wanted. We mentioned things like, when can the Rise stand in a side lane against the LeBlanc? Well, she's 1-0 and 3 against 0-1-0. It's going to take him a hell of a lot longer based on this early game.
And that's the Rise. The Ezreal isn't going to be building any relevant magic resistance. I didn't actually see the start to understand how LeBlanc got even within distortion range, but sometimes things like that can happen when the lanes are broken a bit. We just had a skirmish, so lane assignments on his Vic. Speaking of lane assignments.
Here we go, Dove looking for another one. The flash to try and get Showmaker out of there as he's turning it. The ultimate's running here from Canyon. The first explosion of damage down on the Lee Sin as Distortion gets Dove out a little bit further. Mimic
I don't understand. This is just Dove and 2 control wards, and Nuclear saying, ooh, a minion wave. It's farming time. It was not. Sorry. It's actually dinner time, and well, that means he's not going to be farming for a while. Free kill goes the way of Sandbox, and that is a big VOD review moment for Coach Kim Jung-soo. The coach
damage before getting this charge off, if she even gets it as Dove. Double distorts forward.
Can't really walk up and get a safe Rift Herald charge against this team with all the snowballing that's happening, so they're going to lose the Rift Herald for free.
Yeah, absolutely nothing that they can do about it. It's now a fight breaking out in the river on fleek, taking a lot of damage there as the Chaos Storm does fly down, and Joker, once again, with the defensive heroes.
1-4 in 10 minutes time. There's a real chance Damwon.
Yeah, there certainly is a clock on this one for Damwon, but it's a decent time for Sandbox so far as Dove's going to move on over. World Ender very early from Noggery as he's trying to stick underneath this turret. He's going to be able to use it, avoids dying to the ultimate, but the repositioning is going to be good from Summit, and the dive should be easy. Elementary, my dear Watson, as Sandbox...
With no vision at all, whether he's in a solo lane on a Vladimir or in a situation like this, trying to engage Hoyt and Canyon.
Yep, knockup's being traded left, right, and center as Showmaker Realm warps his way forward, but it's just the walk-back strategy utilized, and now Ghost is looking for this one, not
they could be flying to his Summit.
Yeah, the vision bottom side is actually fantastic, though, but this guy's just so damn big. Here's the hero's entrance. Hoyt, the only one that's going to get knocked up, but they're happy to get any of these picks, and Nuclear can't get anything done in this team fight at all. Dove just going to solo zone him out of this whole fight. True shot barrage for a bit of damage, but a bit is not enough. 5,000 gold now the lead, and a big fight win for Sandbox.
Sandbox just know their role. Dove knows that if Nuclear does nothing...
Plan that we've come to know and love. Realm Warp is going to be utilized there just to get some vision as Joker comes on over with the Justice. Okay, there's the double pop, but the Rise with the Aftershock's not going to get exploded, and Canyon's even going to survive. Now is Joker trying to keep himself alive and trying to keep Damwon out of this pit, but the Baron is available. It might just be a 50-50 as Canyon has to go into the stopwatch, and it is the Baron taken by Sandbox. Only going to lose one, and Nogari's going to have to dive his way over. Showmaker in here as well. There's a kickback onto the Rise, immediately taunted, but does have the stopwatch, and Canyon wants to be able to get a bit on fleek. The Triumph proc keeps him alive. Joker's going to be sacrificed. It's a double now, as the Fear Beyond Death does get the fear, but has the disdain to get it over the wall. Gets the kickback onto Showmaker. Basically does everything. Here's the headbutt. Pole diving on forward. Nogari's going to get big damage in here, and now Nuclear can actually fight in the team fight. Double kill for the Ezreal, who has a freshly completed. It certainly does. Which Sandbox is going to come in here as Nogari's going to get kicked back. Dove looks for the damage as well, and it has to be used so early as on fleek. Now over this wall, Nuclear in the backline is relatively safe, but Hero's Entrance just wants to get rid of this Aatrox. They are going hard for this pick, but he's got so many different tools. They're not enough as the World Ender does expire, and Sandbox get the pick off on the Aatrox. As Damwon Gaming don't want to give it away without a fight, but 4 versus 5 is not a fight that I'd want to take. As Joker in a little bit of trouble, Showmaker doing so much damage. The last Q comes in as Canyon flashes forward, doesn't get the Baron, as that one belongs to Sandbox, but now on fleek in trouble. Hoyt trying to tank them all up. It's a decent kickback, but Nuclear does get zoned by the Lee Sin, and Showmaker fighting Ghost isn't going to win that battle.
Not able to contest the Baron. Dove's coming in. He wants Nuclear for dinner. See if Nuclear can turn this.
Yeah, isn't going to be able to get the chain. Nuclear does a lot of damage, but not quite enough against those two members as well. Didn't have to use the gargoyle.
Sandbox choosing between options here. Nogari can come in. Here's Canyon.
Yep, looking for the backline there as Ghost is in a fair bit of trouble, but they're looking for the turrets. First kill to go down here for Damwon Gaming, but World Ender going to be procced very early in this fight, and Dove going to go down. Canyon trying to leap away as Summit gets the Fear Beyond Death, but not the fears on the members of Damwon as Onfleek is gotten rid of. And now the Realm Warp is going to bring a few members of Damwon Gaming to try and find Summit on the back end. Remember, this is not the Galio that we're used to seeing. Nuclear gets a teleport that he wants this time. Hero's Entrance, True Shot Barrage not going to find the target, and Hero's Entrance was interrupted, meaning that Joker is going to go down. Sandbox Gaming fighting off more than they can chew, as they have in the past.
Man, definitely a fiesta at the end. That makes that tricky for Damwon to pull off.
Now Hoyt looking for his engage opportunity as Joker also doing the same off to the side. Not going to get too much poke there as he just goes back in, gets a decent double talk for the rest of the team. Not quite there. Hoyt just going to get deleted though as Sandbox looking to make it more. Realm Warp not going to find anyone to safety as Hero's Entrance gets the knock up they're looking for, and see you later Showmaker. You're in the death chamber now as Nuclear trying to get his way out. They do get the GA of On Fleek, who's a little further forward than he wants to be, but that has given them enough space to go for this next Baron. And with the man advantage, they should be able to secure it pretty easily.
Sandbox just playing to their draft so intelligently because of all the controllers, because of the vision control they have around the Baron. They're just able to wait for a mistake from Damwon. Someone is always going to split off. Either the Alistair or the Aatrox going to open for an engage, and in that time, you just turn on that one member. It doesn't matter if you have the Alistair ult. One man can be burned down fast enough by the burst damage the Sandbox have, and Alistair turned into Putty very, very quickly, or Patties, I guess, would be the more appropriate thing for a cow. And given that, they get the Baron, third Baron of the game, and with that Baron, they could look for the end here. Showmaker, 10 seconds to a respawn.
Finally, a 10,000 gold lead here for Sandbox Gaming, as well as they're taking down inhibitors, inhibitor turrets, and everything that's in Damwon's base. Remember, only one Nexus turret does remain for Damwon, and they've been given a long leash. A lot of opportunities for Damwon to get back into this game, but the team fights have just been so good when they've worked for Sandbox. They've always got the Barons. They've always picked up what they need to. Nogari going to be knocked back into the team yet again, but does have a lot of ways of staying alive. Not going to live for as long as he wanted to, though, and that's On Fleek getting rid of him. Summit gets the fears as well as Nuclear That is not going to be enough shield from that Seraph's Embrace as he gets onto this fountain. But that's the only place that's safe for the Ezreals. The Nexus is going to be taken down, and Sandbox will take game number 1 against Dom1 Gaming.
Really interesting game number 1. A lot of feeling out between two pretty evenly matched teams. I think overall Sandbox deserved the victory. They were very smart around objectives. They made some mistakes. The attempt to end there was a bit foolhardy, but overall, they understood their win conditions. And a tricky to execute draft. Not everyone can play awesome dudes in the late game without a stained ranged carry to put out reliable damage and actually pull it off. But because of their smart vision control,